Today, we're counting down 10 football players who didn't just play the game. They changed it forever. These legends redefined tactics, inspired generations, and forced coaches worldwide to rebuild their entire strategy. From unstoppable strikers to genius playmakers, these players transformed modern football into the beautiful game we know and love. Make sure you stay until the end to discover the player many coaches call the most influential footballer in history. Let's get into it. Starting our list at number 10 is a man who redefined what it means to defend. Paolo Maldini. Nicknamed Il Capitano, Maldini was the ultimate defender who relied on intelligence, not aggression. His famous quote, "If I have to make a tackle, then I have already made a mistake," perfectly sums up his philosophy. He rarely went to ground because his positioning, anticipation, and reading of the game were so flawless that he didn't need to. For 25 seasons at AC Milan, he was a master of timing and composure, proving that the best defenders outthink their opponents. Modern defenders study his tapes like a textbook, trying to emulate his elegant and cerebral style. Maldini taught the world that defending is an art form, a chess match where brains triumph over brute force. He didn't just stop attackers. He made defending look beautiful. At number 9, we have the man who controlled the heartbeat of one of the greatest teams ever assembled, Xavi Hernandez. Xavi wasn't the fastest or the strongest, but his brain was light years ahead of everyone else on the pitch. He was the master of tiki-taka, a style built on short, precise passing and constant movement. Watching Xavi was like watching a conductor lead an orchestra. He controlled the tempo of the game, dictating the rhythm with every touch. His ability to find space where there was none and deliver the perfect pass time and time again was revolutionary. Before Xavi, possession was important, but he turned it into a weapon. He proved that you could dominate and dismantle teams by simply keeping the ball, forcing them to chase shadows. Every possession-based system in football today, from Manchester City to your local club, owes a debt to the little genius from Barcelona. Sprinting into our number 8 spot is the embodiment of modern football's future, Kylian Mbappé. In a game that's getting faster every year, Mbappé changed the very definition of speed. It's not just his top-end pace, it's his terrifying acceleration from a standing start that leaves world-class defenders for dust. His explosive bursts forced entire defensive lines to drop deeper, creating huge pockets of space for his teammates to exploit. Coaches have had to completely rethink their defensive strategies just to contain him. He's more than just a sprinter. He combines that raw speed with lethal finishing and intelligent movement, making him the prototype of the next generation forward. At such a young age, he has already achieved so much and is constantly evolving. Mbappé represents a new kind of athletic predator, and his influence is already shaping how the next wave of attackers will play the game. Coming in at number 7 is the deep-line playmaker who made passing cool again, Andrea Pirlo. In an era dominated by athletic, box-to-box midfielders, Pirlo was an anomaly. He didn't run much, he didn't tackle hard, but he could change a game with a single pass from 70 yards away. He perfected the regista role, sitting deep in front of the defense and orchestrating the play like a quarterback. His vision was unparalleled. He saw passes that nobody else could, splitting defenses with perfectly weighted through balls or switching the play with effortless long-range diagonals. Pirlo forced opposing teams to change how they pressed. For the first time, coaches had to specifically mark a player who was positioned so deep, fundamentally altering midfield tactics. He proved that you do need speed when your mind and your feet move faster than everyone else's. Pirlo was the master of calm, the maestro of the midfield. At number 6, we celebrate the player who brought joy and magic back to football. In the early 2000s, football was becoming increasingly tactical and rigid. Then Ronaldinho arrived, and he reminded everyone that football is supposed to be fun. He played with a smile on his face and a bag full of tricks that nobody had ever seen before. The elastico, the no-look pass, the sombrero flicky, performed them not just for show, but with devastating effect. He was a magician who could conjure moments of genius out of thin air. His flair and creativity were so infectious that he made millions of people around the world fall in love with the sport all over again. He wasn't just a player, he was an entertainer, a performer whose sole mission was to bring happiness to the fans. Ronaldinho's legacy isn't just about the trophies he won. It's about the feeling he gave us every time he touched the ball. Entering our top 5 is the king of elegance and control, Zinedine Zidane. Zizou changed midfield play through pure grace. In a high-pressure, chaotic midfield battle, he seemed to operate in his own bubble of time and space. His first touch was magnetic. The ball would stick to his feet, no matter how fast it came at him. He was the master of the roulette, the 360-degree spin that left defenders dizzy and confused. Zidane proved that ultimate control, not just raw speed or power, was the key to dominating the most important area of the pitch. He glided past players, using his body to shield the ball and his vision to unlock defenses. He inspired a whole generation of creative midfielders, from Iniesta to Zil, who tried to replicate his calmness under pressure and his ability to make the difficult look simple. Zidane was footballing poetry in motion. At number 4, we have the ultimate athletic specimen, the evolution machine Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's impact on football comes from his relentless pursuit of perfection. He completely transformed himself, evolving from a skinny, flashy winger at Manchester United into a powerful, unstoppable goal-scoring machine at Real Madrid and beyond. Each stage of his evolution forced defenders and coaches to adapt. First, they had to handle his tricks and pace. Then, they had to deal with his aerial ability and thunderous shots. Finally, they had to cope with his predatory instincts as a pure number 9. But his biggest influence is perhaps his professionalism. His dedication to training, diet, and physical conditioning set a new standard for what it means to be a professional athlete. He showed an entire generation of players that talent is not enough. It's the hard work you put in off the pitch that makes you a legend, breaking into the top 3 as a player who redefined the limits of what a small, creative forward could achieve. Lionel Messi. For decades, it was thought that to be a dominant forward, you needed to be tall and strong. Then, Messi came along. He proved that a low center of gravity could be an advantage, allowing him to weave through defenses with impossible control. His gravity-defying dribbles, where the ball seems glued to his feet, are legendary. But he's not just a dribbler or a goal scorer, he's a complete attacking system. His playmaking vision is just as deadly as his finishing. He sees passes and creates chances that no one else can. Coaches don't just plan for Messi. They build entire teams around him or design entire defensive schemes just to try and slow him down. He has shattered countless records and changed the expectations for what a single player can contribute to a team. Our runner-up at number 2 is the man who single-handedly carried a nation and changed football both on and off the pitch, Diego Maradona. Maradona was a force of nature, a rebel genius who played with a passion and fire that was mesmerizing. On the ball, he was a miracle worker. His performance at the 1986 World Cup is perhaps the greatest individual tournament display in history, where he almost single-handedly dragged an average Argentina team to glory. He could dribble through entire teams, as he did for the goal of the century against England. His skill, combined with his fierce will to win, allowed him to elevate teams far beyond their expected level. Culturally, he became a symbol of hope for the underdog, a hero who took on the giants of the game and won. To this day, his influence is felt in every corner of the footballing world. For many, he is the greatest of all time. And finally, at number 1, the player who many coaches and analysts consider the most influential footballer in history. Johan Cruyff didn't just play football. He reprogrammed its DNA as the leader of the legendary Ajax and Netherlands teams of the 1970s. He was the on-field general of total football. This was a revolutionary tactical system where any outfield player could take over the role of any other player in the team. Defenders could become attackers, and attackers would drop back to defend. It was a fluid system based on movement, positional interchange, and intense pressing. Later, as a manager at Barcelona, he laid the foundations for the La Masia Academy, and the style of play that would later be perfected by Pep Guardiola and his all-conquering team. Almost every successful modern tactical concept, from high pressing to possession-based play and positional fluidity, be traced back to the ideas of Johan Cruyff. He was a visionary, a philosopher, and an architect who built the blueprint for the modern game. These players didn't just win trophies. They changed the way we play, watch, and think about football. Their legacy is etched into the very fabric of the sport. But now, I want to hear from you. Which player do you think had the biggest impact on the game? Did we miss anyone? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be reading them all and will feature the best answer in my next video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.